Can you imagine finding your daughter crying in her room? Hiding her phone because her entire worldview was just shattered by a 10-minute internet video. This is the story of Khadija. Khadija was targeted at school by classmates acting like mouthpieces for internet trolls. They said very, very hurtful things like camel urine, satanic verses, gender equality, trying to paint her prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, as an uncivilized warlord. They pointed out to the age of his wife just to throw the most vile and disgusting labels at him. They claimed she worships a violent, patriarchal moon god, and they twisted the Arabic language to claim that her creator is the best of all deceivers. They bullied her so hard until she cried. When she went back home, she found both of her parents, father and mother, fully exhausted because they were working overtime just to pay off their debts and keep her in school. She didn't want to burden them with her sorrows, so she turned to the internet for answers. And that was a catastrophic mistake, because the moment she opened YouTube, she stepped into a minefield. She was bombarded by the $1 million Islamophobia industry. One video claiming that Islam is oppressive to women, another claiming that the sun sits in a muddy spring, or finding another way to twist the verses to make it seem like there is a scientific mistake. And she found another video using the emotional problem of evil just to break her faith. And she found a lot of missionaries talking about the supposed Islamic dilemma. And then came the weirdos. One of them tried to convince her that following hadith is shirk, and she found others pushing claims that Adam's father was an ape. It was hate after hate after hate, and her foundational Islamic knowledge just couldn't take it. By the time her parents finally realized the depths of her struggle, it was too late. They only noticed on the day that she took off her hijab, stopped praying, and kept echoing the exact toxic points she had absorbed online. They wished they never had to leave their child alone for some extra money. But what could they do? You might think this is just a sad, isolated tragedy. But right now, there are thousands of Khadijas in your city, and absolutely no one is throwing them a lifeline. But Khadija was one of the lucky ones, because she found a trustworthy Dawah group just in time. They didn't yell facts at her and shame her for having doubts. No, we listened, we validated her intelligence, systematically dismantled all the misconceptions she had, and showed her exactly how those online preachers can manipulate the translations to deceive the youth. Today, alhamdulillah, she's stronger than ever. But what about the millions that we couldn't reach? We are living in an age where the people who are spreading filth outnumber the people who clean it up by 100 to 1. And this is exactly why we started Deen Academy, where we debunk all of these well-funded anti-Islamic campaigns. We do it using Quran, authentic hadith, and the understanding of the early scholars. And we draw the line between the real science and the atheism marketing campaigns. And alhamdulillah, it is working. Hundreds of people already have accepted Islam directly through these efforts, and many Muslims who had doubts in the past reclaimed their faith. But the moment we started reaching those numbers, we hit a huge brick wall. A brick wall of shadow bans, demonetizations, and algorithmic resistance. I remember way back in the beginning when we were just a small group running a couple of Dawah Facebook pages. Every time one of those Facebook pages succeeded into reaching wide audience, it got closed for us. Sometimes the account associated with the page got permanently banned. So we just made new accounts, new pages, which also got banned, and so on. One day a friend of mine told me that TikTok is the easiest platform to get reach. Even kids get millions of views. So I started a Dawah TikTok. Long story short, it got banned. Then I tried Instagram. It worked out for a while, until one day I uploaded one reel that was saying the truth about what's happening in the world. It got 20 million views, and you guessed it, full restriction. We went from 12 million views per video to 10 views per video. Then I joined Discord. Spent between 4 to 6 hours every day in group voice chats, giving da'wah to non-Muslims. Not only it was working, it was going amazing. Until I got this email. We're sorry to inform you that all of your hard work is gone. We randomly decided to close your account and your server and make you lose all of the thousands of connections that you made. Yay! Even Twitter, the platform that was famous for giving some extra freedom of speech. My account got hacked by a guy who used it to sell this funny NFT monkey pictures using my name, and it got banned. And then came the era of YouTube. And this was when I was overwhelmed by how hard it is. I discovered that if I just wing it like I was doing in every other platform, I will end up with 5 views per video. 4 of them is actually me rewatching it from other accounts. I discovered that the only way to have a chance for exposure is to invest in real recording equipment, lighting, in-depth research, translation, script writing, storytelling, and quality recording. And then try as much as I can to hide my Bibsy accent in front of the camera. And afterwards spend days in sound engineering, coloring, editing, B-roll, and of course the infamous thumbnail and title packaging combo. Turns out I have to either do all of that on my own and end up uploading one video every couple of months, or get some help, which will cost me hundreds of dollars per video, in addition of course to all the subscriptions that you have to pay. And after all of that, I discovered that the system is also rigged. Those of you who know me from the very old Deen Academy channels that I had years ago know exactly how unfair it gets. After uploading, I think, more than 1,000 video and short, the result I got was temporary bans, then restrictions, demonetizations, strikes, and finally I got the famous message. Your account is promoting tourism. You know the tourism industry where people travel to other countries? I hope you understand what I mean. It turns out that as long as I have this, wall art behind me, as long as I'm defending the truth unapologetically, I will always face these unreasonable manufactured online obstacles. Add to that the constant harassments and the safety concerns for me and for my family. And this was the moment when I almost gave up. I asked myself, why bother? This Dawah project costed me almost 6 hours of frustration every day for the past 10 years or more, and I spent a fortune on it. And what did I achieve? Termination, humiliation, trolls, and safety concerns. I already have my full-time job and I have a family to take care of. This side quest is just eating up all my time, energy, and money. On one hand, for me to have a small chance to deliver one statement of truth, I have to spend all of this hundreds of hours and hundreds of dollars and face all of the obstacles, while I can see on the other side the algorithm pushing millions of views to this preacher spreading lies about Islam, while he's recording on his kitchen table with a 1-pixel camera. Didn't you say that reach is about quality? Or is it really about what you are promoting? I ended up saying, you know what, this system is rigged. I can't stand alone against this Islamophobia monster. I give up. But then I asked myself, do you remember why did you start Dawah in the first place? Because many years ago, before I joined the Deen Academy team, my original plan was to learn comparative religion just to protect my own children. To build a fortress around my house. I wanted to be prepared when they grow up, become teenagers, because they will definitely have questions. But one day, I watched one video that changed my whole life upside down. I think it was a weekend or a vacation or something. Anyway, I had the whole day off. And there was this one very long video about the life of Umar ibn al-Khattab. It was 7 hours long. I've always wanted to see it, so I decided to binge watch all of it in that day. I don't really remember anything that I learned in that video, except one fact. One fact that was like an explosion in my head. The first 10 minutes of this 7-hour video was covering the personal life of Umar ibn al-Khattab. Like, he grew up, he got a job, he made some money, he got married, he took care of his family. All of that was just in the first 10 minutes of a 7-hour video. I said, wait a minute. Those 10 minutes represent basically my whole lifetime goals. What achievement will this lecture talk about in the remaining 6 hours and 50 minutes? I thought securing a meaningful career and building a loving family is the ultimate achievement for every man. But then I realized how selfish that was. Supporting my family and saving them from the anti-Islam campaigns while watching the rest of the Ummah drown is not an excuse that I'm willing to present in front of Allah. I realized that whatever we call success today is actually utter failure. The 7-hour video about Umar ibn al-Khattab was 2% talking about him taking care of himself and his family, and the remaining 98% was him caring for the Muslim community and spreading the message of Allah. And the same, by the way, applies to the lifetime of the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, and all the great men that we take as role models. What we call absolute success today is merely 2% of their life story. And what made me terrified is actually Surah Al-Asr, because it clearly states that all humanity, all of us, you and me, are drowning in loss, with only one exception: the people who do 4 things: believe, do good deeds, advise others to the truth, that is what we call now Dawah to non-Muslims, and advise others to patience, and that is Dawah to Muslims to resist their desires, their desires towards sin. Turns out that Allah requires all 4, not only the first 2. I discovered that Dawah is fard kifaya, a communal obligation, meaning if enough people are doing it in our Ummah, we are saved. But if they are not enough, or if they are outnumbered by, the missionaries and haters, which is the case, then every single one of us will be asked about it on the Day of Judgment. And the reality today is that this ratio is entirely broken. For every one person defending Islam, there are hundreds trying to tear it down. So, I'm telling you this with absolute love and absolute seriousness. You can't just sit on the sidelines cheering for those who are doing the heavy lifting. When the children of Israel broke the Sabbath, they got divided into 3 groups: those who sinned, those who didn't sin and sat there passively watching, and those who didn't sin but offered da'wah to the sinners. When the punishment of Allah came, Allah didn't just punish the sinners. Actually, no. He punished both of those groups, and the only survivors were those who were actively giving da'wah. Allah condemned the children of Israel because they didn't forbid one another from doing evil. While on the other side, He described us as the best community ever raised to humanity. Why? Because we are advising to good, advising against evil, and believing in Allah. Notice how in the Quran, da'wah is mentioned before belief itself. The Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, explicitly warned us that if we abandon da'wah, the moment we abandon giving advice to good and against evil, Allah will send a huge punishment on us, and even our prayers to remove this punishment will go entirely unanswered. And don't convince yourself that this is, the job of the scholars, it's not for me. Because the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said, deliver my message even if all you can deliver is 1 verse. This hadith is talking about a person who only knows 1 verse. It's clearly a command for you and me, not for the people of great knowledge. Say, O Prophet, I invite to Allah, that's my way, and also the way of those who follow me, not only the Prophet himself. According to Sheikh Ibn Baz, whoever had opportunity to deliver the message of God and didn't deliver it at least as much as he can, has committed a sin. You know that in Islam, there is this very important Arabic word called I don't think I should say it, because if I do, the automated bots will flag this channel and make sure that you never see the video. So let's go with the English meaning of it. It means striving for the sake of Allah. In Arabic it starts with J, but in English it's called striving. This striving for the sake of Allah is something that the Prophet called the highest good deed that a believer can ever do in his life. He taught us that it is better than someone who prays and fasts all of his life non-stop. And the real surprise is in Surah Al-Furqan. This is where Allah referred to giving da'wah as a form of striving for His sake, and ordered us to debate with them with the best manners, which makes da'wah also the highest good deed a believer can ever do. Imam Ibn al-Qayyim said that there are 2 types of striving for the sake of Allah. The easy striving, the physical one that we all know, and the hard striving, which is providing evidence and debates. He said that the second one is superior. Why? Because of its great benefit, its difficulty, and the abundance of its opponents. Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah once said, whoever doesn't participate in saying the truth is a speechless shaitan. Because according to Ali ibn Abi Talib, when the people of truth stopped defending the truth, the people of falsehood thought they are correct. Isn't that exactly what's happening today? I think it's clear now what I want you to do. I want you to get out of this spectator seat and actually join the arena. If you have the knowledge, then get up, turn on your camera and join us in the front lines of this intellectual battle. And if you have the wealth, then your zakah and your sadaqah belong here. Support some of the cost of the research, translation, scripting, recording, and editing of the Dawah videos. Because the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, taught us that whoever sponsors the one spreading the message gets the exact same reward as the one speaking it. And because Dawah is a form of striving for the sake of Allah, and striving is one of the 8 categories of Zakah described in Surah At-Tawbah, supporting the production of Dawah videos like this should absolutely be the priority of your annual Zakah, especially in these critical times. Here is a fatwa in Islam QA explaining why it counts. Legitimate community backing is the only way to bypass all of this algorithmic suppression, sudden demonetization, or disabled accounts. It ensures that Dawah remains protected and fully funded no matter what happens on the back end of the platforms. And if you don't have the wealth, then you have the time. Take these videos, cut them into shorts, post them on your own account. We don't care about copyrights. What we care about is the truth reaching the youth. Share them on your social groups or with your friends, or help them spread right here with your engagement below. Use your thumbs in the comment section to force the algorithm to push this content for those who need it. Remember that the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said, "Don't consider any act of goodness as being insignificant." In the description you will find the link to our Discord if you want to join the intellectual team, and the link to our Patreon if you want to fund the defense of this Ummah. If Allah guides someone because of your effort, it's infinitely better for you than all the wealth in the world. Because when you guide someone to the truth, you receive a complete copy of their lifetime of good deeds. Not only that, the good deeds of whoever they teach, and the good deeds of their offspring, and so on. All of that without decreasing their reward at all. I told you earlier that hundreds of people already accepted Islam through these efforts. That is, hundreds of lifetimes of prayers and fasting and charity. Imagine yourself on the day of judgment standing there terrified, and suddenly you are handed a copy of the lifetime deeds of a girl called Khadija, or any of those hundreds of new Muslims or their descendants. Isn't that the ultimate passive income? All of that just because one day in the past you funded or shared or supported a video that clarified a couple of misconceptions for her. All the links are in the description. جزاكم الله خيرا. Salaam alaikum.